This next guest is a history maker. He is the first ever exclusively signed Hex Fight Series fighter. And he hasn't even had a pro fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event.
Live from HBF Stadium Festival Hall. Melbourne Pavilion. Not even backstage, we're literally outside.
Was that the best fight card in Australian MMA history?
Call me crazy, but make sure you call me when I'm right.
Be good if the Aussie MMA Instagram page would give us a bit of glow up because we're killing it.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Australian MMA podcast. My name is Mitch Tinley, and today's guest is none other than Jett Fisher. He is part of the new wave of mixed martial arts in this country. He started fighting, I think his first ever time he hit the mat, he was 4 years old, and he's now 9-3 in his amateur career. He's had an absolute stunning start, and he's announced that he is going pro. News dropped that Hex Fight Series, the MMA promotion known for, that had Cody Haddon as champion, Sean Gauchi, who's going to be on the Dynamite Contender Series, Jono Mikhailov, who is going to also have his shot at getting a UFC contract. Of course, Navajo Sterling was their light heavyweight champion. So Jett Fisher saw that and he thought, I'm a jump on board. We're going to find out why. And I guess you're going to find out why Hex Fight Series sort of doubled down and gambled on Jett Fisher, who hasn't even had a professional fight, but he's already signed exclusively. How many fights is he signed to? What are the details of the contract? They'll be in this interview. Plus, he's recently coming off a very, very, very controversial loss against Kwame Osei, Demolition Fight Series, where he lost by split decision. Many, many people thought that Jett took out that fight. It was also a fight that is currently being appealed with the government, Victoria State Commission. And they're going to get sort of notes of that on if that will actually be overturned or not. But we chat to Jett Fisher on why he chose Hex Fight Series. Why not Eternal? Why not Beatdown? Why he chose to sign exclusively with Hex Fight Series, and a little bit more on his thoughts on his fight that is currently being appealed. But he's a good young man. He has a super duper bright future, and we're going to sort of see that outlined by him. So yeah, without further ado, let's hear from our good friends at PRP Global, and on the other side, the extremely fast rising star, Jett Fisher.
Fuel the fight with Australian-made MMA-inspired streetwear and support the next generation of MMA superstars. Delivering unprecedented support to the Aussie MMA scene, support PRP Global on their journey. 100% of profits go to the fighters. Check PRP Global out today.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining me on the show, a very special guest and the history maker, the first ever exclusively signed to Hex Fight Series. It is none other than Jett Fisher. Mate, welcome.
Thank you, Mitch. Appreciate it, mate.
Jeez, mate, you've got to be pretty special to make Hex walk back, say they won't do exclusive contracts, to then start doing exclusive contracts and then signing you to be first. I mean, how special do you feel?
Oh, it feels pretty good, but, it's all warranted, I've been fighting, my whole life since my dad has been, and it's just, it's deserved. I fight like every 3 months consistently, and I just smash them out, so...
I mean, I'd hate to start the interview off on the wrong foot, but, mate, you're coming off a loss.
Yeah, people say it's a loss, but they can go fucking watch the footage, mate. And they can say if that's a loss or not. Dominating for 3 rounds, and then you get a split decision win. Mate, the ref fucking put my hand up. He was that confused. I'll hopefully get my belt in the mail once it's overturned, but, 10-3 sounds better. Sorry, 10-2 sounds better than 9-3.
I'm a bit iffy about overturning results. I don't think commissions ever do, because it's obviously sets a precedent that everyone will then appeal.
Yeah, well, usually when they're overturning stuff, they'll come back to you straight away and they'll be like, "No, we go with our judge's decision."
Yep.
Mate, we've been going back and forth with them for like a couple of weeks now, and they're just like, "Oh fuck, we're fucked up." So they're...
What happens? Like, first, talk everyone through it. How does an appeal happen, and what's the process?
So you have to get you have to email the commission, but with, Wayne's emailed him as well. And so, having an actual promotion email the commission, it's like, they're taking it pretty seriously. And, for Wayne as well, he gets a lot of the shit because people don't think of it as the judges making the decision. They think of it, as Demolition Fight Series. Oh, they fucked over Jett. Well, no, they didn't, because the commission come in and they do their work, and, Demolition's left with the shit to deal with. And it's sad to see because Wayne puts on such a good show, and then they give me a shitty decision, and it's fucking shit for him, mate. He's got everyone out in the front, going, oh fuck Demolition, fuck this, and we got to tell him, no mate, it's the commission. Don't worry about Wayne. He puts on a good show, so we should be going in with KG and Connor and all that in November. So that'll be another little card for him.
And what do you have to do in an appeal? Do you just go, oi, we think that shit, go watch it, or do you put forward stuff?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you have to pretty much go over the rules. My dad and Wayne have been dealing with it more, so I'm kind of just waiting for my belt in the mail, mate. Not really worrying about it too much. I just keep asking me, has it been overturned yet? Nah, we'll wait a bit. All right, sweet.
All right. Well, before I move on from it, are there any points in that fight where you think, fuck, he kind of got me there? I can see how the judges might have given him that round or something.
Yeah, there was one moment where, he got me with a nice cross, and, I shelled up a bit, but then I shot straight away. Like straight away after we, the fight happened, we went straight back and rewatched it. Mate, I'm so sick of watching a fight where I never thought I'd be sick of watching a fight where I beat a guy's ass, It's, I've rewatched it like 20 times and you couldn't even give it a draw, mate. It's just disappointing.
Have you had any fights similar to that?
Nah, that's like a very big one-off that, like, mate, all the other guys from all the other gyms were coming up to me going, mate, that's, usually with amateur, it's not that much of a big deal, but they were like, mate, that's bad. We wouldn't want that happening to anyone else, so they better watch their step next time.
It does feel like the amateur, although, once upon a time, amateur fights didn't matter. And in a weird way, they still don't because it's bad experience. But you,
100%.
But you, Kasib Murdoch, Jake Piper, like guys like that have started to, like, you guys made amateur fighting look like almost like amateur boxing.
It's like a pro show, mate. It's really cool. Like, back when my dad was fighting, you had a couple of fights in the gym and then that's it. You're a professional fighter. There wasn't really much to it. But now it's like it's a real sport, amateur MMA, which it's really cool. It's really cool to see, especially growing up with it too.
Well, then what goes into the decision of you going pro then? Was the decision before the fight?
Oh, well, it was, when coming off a weird split decision loss like that, it's, if you won the fight, I'm still mentally good. Like, I didn't get beat up or anything like that. Like, I beat him up, mate. I nearly knocked him out in the first round, and that was my first fucking punch. And he was telling me, I boxed the bleeding head off you, and I'm like, nah, mate, no, you didn't.
Have you guys gone back and forth?
Yeah, nah, I wouldn't be looking at that comment section. It's a bit fucking nasty, man. It's like there's 20 real comments, and it says 46 comments on it, and 20 of them from other people, and the rest are from me and Kwame. Yeah, it's not good. That's the first real beef I've ever had with anyone. Like, just proper giving me shit. I'm like, mate, you asshole.
I love it. No, basically it was, were you going to go pro beforehand, or what was the? Is this?
Well, the plan was originally I was going to fight Flynn O'Keefe in Ascension, and then have one more Demolition, and then go pro. But obviously, I tore up my knees. Like, I got a torn LCL, torn MCL on the other side, and my knees were just cooked for that fight. So I'm like, yep, jumped out of it. My brother jumped in, won it on like 3 days' notice. Good on him, fucking little crazy bastard. But and yeah, then after that, we were like, oh shit, all right, we'll go for one more, and then we had that demo fight, and then we were like, all right, we'll do this last defense. And on, a bit of a fairy tale ending, and, just fucking got shuttled over by this fucking stupid decision.
When it comes into like your pro career now, why did you sign exclusively to Hex, and what is in it for you?
Well, for me, it's more just getting consistent fights. Like, I want to consistently fight throughout, the end of this year and all of next year. And, they've guaranteed me 5 fights. So it's like, great. If I can fight every 2 months to 3 months, that's perfect. And signing exclusively to Hex, it just, props me up a bit. They'll put a bit more into me. Like, just fighting on a show every now and then, it's not very, good for your self-promotion. Fighting on one promotion, they want to look after you a bit and you want to look after them. You want to give them good shows. And, also, in Victoria, fighting at the Melbourne Pavilion, it's just easier for me, rather than flying, all the way to bloody Perth or going up to Sydney or whatever. It's just, good local pro show to get started on to, advance into my career.
So what can you tell us about the deal? You said it's 5 fights. Is it 5 fights in a year? Like what's the sort of things you can say?
So the deal will be, it'll just be 5 consistent fights. So we got November, we got the one in March, I believe. Then we got August, and then November next year, including this November coming.
Yeah.
So that's the 5. Unless I pull out to injuries or my opponent pulls out, they're trying to give me 5 consistent fights. And fighting so long in amateur and being the #1 amateur for so long, it's just, usually people have 6 to 4 amateur fights, and then they'll go fighting a pro show as a bit of a dud, and then bloody they'll be fed to the wolves a little bit, but being #1 for so long, they really try and look after you, and they want you to get a good deal because, you put on consistent fights. You've shown that you can be consistent. You can put on a bit of a show. You've already built up a bit of a fan base, and it's just, it's good for their brand to have a fighter that, is, what would you call it? Consistent and, loyal a bit. You know what I'm saying?
So if, say, March rolls around, they offer you, or say November rolls around, they're like, oh, no, we're going to throw you straight in there. Here's George Mangos. And you go, not yet. I mean, I know you'd probably say yes. But like, if you said, no, not yet, does that count as one of your fights offered?
Yeah, I believe so. It's more my dad dealing with it because he's my manager. He goes through all that with Ryan and all the boys there. And I'm just here to fight, mate. That's all I'm really interested in. Is just getting consistent fights. And
what can we expect in your professional career? Do you have it all planned out, or are you just sort of taking it as it comes?
I kind of just take it as it comes. A lot of people really look at their career like a spectator. They're like, oh, I need to get my stats good. I need to be very picky, choosy with my fights, mate. I just like fighting, man. Like, this is what I got into it for. I'm not in for it, for the money. I'm in for it to put on a good show, have a bit of a banger and entertain people, That's just what it's all about.
And before I kind of go into a little bit more about your career, did you have any talks? I mean, I know you said your dad's the manager and whatnot, but did you have any talks with Eternal or Beatdown or any other promotions?
Oh, I got a few different offers, but it's just, Hex were giving me the best one. They were giving me just, they're like, mate, we'll give you fights, like 5 fights. I'm like, fucking grouse, 5 guaranteed fights. I don't want to beat around the bush. I want 5 consistent fights. Like that's perfect. All I want to do is fight consistently and just, have a bit of good start to my career and just get it off the ground. And it's fucking, they gave me the best opportunity that could. And, signing up an amateur, no one does that shit, mate. It's, pretty good, especially if, Hex, especially with like Jono and all those boys going, under the Dana White Contender Series. It's, it seems like the best path for me right now.
Well, last tough question before we get into your life. What if it's just 5 dudes from Indonesia? Not that they can't fight, but do you know what I'm saying? Like, what if it's just five cans?
That's where guys look after you a bit too much, and they're just, and you fight dudes from bloody Indonesia, like 5 guys from Indonesia. How good of a fighter are you going to be at 5-0 when you fight a guy that's probably the same record as you, and he puts a bit of a beating on you. It's embarrassing. You want to have a good fight where a guy's pretty good all round and you can test yourself forever. But it's that point where it's like maybe they're a little bit worse than you or a little bit better, but you're on the same par. You can have a good back and forth where it's a bit entertaining. Because there's nothing like watching a guy just absolutely flog a dude, and you're like, mate, that was too easy. It looks a bit, embarrassing for him.
But would you be annoyed if that were the fights they were offering you? Like, have you talked to them and gone like, no, these are some of the guys I'd like to fight?
Yeah, 100%. My dad's obviously, more about it, but I want a good fight. I don't want to beat around the bush and just, get a 5-0 record, mate. I want some test fights. If you look at my amateur career, I fight all the best amateurs. Like, that's why we got Jake Piper down from bloody, where is he, Queensland, Sydney, wherever, because I wanted a good fight. I was number 1 and he was number 2, and it's like, all right, let's fucking do this, mate. Let's do it for the number 1. And he's like, fuck yeah. And I really appreciate that, because it's like, another fighter wanting to have a bit of a test themselves. And that's how you get ready for pros, mate. If you just beat up guys your whole amateur career, you get into pro and then you get beat up. It's like, mate, what was all that for? Just, to look good. It's not about how you look, mate. It's about how you feel when you're in there.
Yeah, and Jakey Piper's absolute stud for Sid Murdoch, undefeated.
Oh yeah, 100%. What a fucking, what a absolutely stud move that was. Just fucking, that's a fighter, mate. That's a real fighter.
Yeah, on like a week's notice. Is there who do you want to fight? Is there someone you want to fight for November?
I don't really have anything for you yet. You've
got a name, don't you?
We got a couple. We got a couple we're looking at, but yeah, I'd rather leave it up to the post. I'd rather leave it up to Hex when they put it out there.
Oh, he's learning to be a pro already. Now, mate, because you're young, so when did you start mixed martial arts?
I started jiu-jitsu when I was 4, maybe 5. Yeah, I've been doing it a while, but I started doing kickboxing when I was about 14. Because my dad was an Australian MMA champion. Back in the day where you'd fight in a ring, that kind of stuff. And he just brought me up with it, and he's like, mate, you've done too much jiu-jitsu. You need to jump into some kickboxing stuff where you can't shoot. And it's like, beautiful. All right. I'll just smash the heads off some blokes and, have a fun time while I'm in there. And, same happened with my brother Cage. He ended up winning 2 titles. So, sorry, no, 3 titles. There you go.
Jeez. And did you guys ever want to do anything else?
No, not really. We just like fighting. We do have a younger brother. And, he tried it out. Mate, he's really good, but he likes his art and stuff. So he wants to be like a tattoo artist and stuff. So he just left it with me and Cage.
No, it's all right. It's all right. If he's a good tattoo artist, he can probably sign exclusive with Hex as well. So
exactly.
Now, what's been your hardest hurdle throughout your career? Injuries, losses, tough times?
Well, competing a lot as a kid, nothing really ever, hit home too much. I never went back on a loss and went, oh, I'm fucking terrible. I can't fight. I can't do this. Because, sometimes it's just not your night, man. You just gotta realize that. And, I do jits comps every now and then. Sometimes I'll lose, sometimes I won't. It's part of the game. But that's that, as I was saying before, that's that, spectator mindset where you're looking more at the stats rather than just the next thing. You're looking at, am I really that good? Oh, I've lost a couple here and there. Oh, I won this one. Oh, but that guy lost it. Mate, who gives a fuck? Can't focus on your next goal. Focus on the next fight. Focus on the next competition and get ready for that. Don't worry about what happened before, because you're only as good as you were, you're only good as you were yesterday.
Yeah. And
no, that doesn't really make any fucking sense, does it? You're only good as you were yesterday.
Nah, I think that's weirdly poetic. Like, you're only as good as you were yesterday, so get better today. That's fine, mate. You're a pro. Okay, just say shit. It turns into quotes.
Say shit. Edit it out if I fuck up.
Yeah, good. Me. I'll make you look good. Now,
you make it look good.
What about life, man? I mean, I know you're only young, but like, you hear about youngsters burning out and stuff. Do you balance life? Do you go with your friends?
Yeah, I got a missus, mate, to take care of, so I got to balance some time. You don't burn yourself out too much. I still go out on the weekends and have pizza and a couple beers. Like, I'm not like a Khabib Nurmagomedov and anything. All I do is, pray and train. you know, it's for me, it's fun. I just love to fight. I don't have to fight, but I will. And you know, we got the gym. The gym takes care of everything we need. And you know, I got a job. Cage has got a job. Like, we're just normal people, mate. That we just want to fight. That's all. And we just so happen to be training since we were 4. That's all.
And what's the job?
Oh, no, I'm a sign writer.
A sign writer.
Yeah, so I do all signage and stuff. I made this banner.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick. All right. Well, I might hit you up next time.
Yeah, easy.
Now, growing up, obviously, dad fighter, brother, obviously everyone into fighting. Did you get in trouble outside of the cage?
Nah. I'm a pretty good boy, mate. I'm a good boy. Growing up doing it, you kind of just realise it's not really worth it. Like, you get beat up at the gym, you could imagine what happens out in the streets if you get beat up. It's like, yeah, you don't want to be dealing with coppers and shit like that. You know, I wasn't bullied or anything. You know, people knew to stay away from me a little bit because, you know, oh, Jett's a fighter, mate. Look at his colleagues. Don't fuck with him.
When did you start getting cauliflower ear? Like 6?
Oh, it was actually funny. Yeah, it was actually funny. I didn't get him. I didn't get him from grappling. I got him from doing MMA.
Oh.
I was with my mate Daniel, who trains here, Daniel Styris, and he caught me a fucking good one right in the ear, and I'm like, oh fuck, what was that? And I touch my ear, and it's the fucking size of a golf ball. I'm like, and you know, the normal person reaction, oh fuck me ear. I was like, yeah, me, fuck yeah. After all these years of jiu-jitsu, fucking, I get my colleagues doing fucking MMA.
That is hilarious. It's that was like, I always didn't want it because I was in the media. I didn't want cauliflower ear, and I grapple.
Yeah.
And if someone had me in like a guillotine, I'd slip so you'd get the neck, just so you wouldn't get the ear. I was like, I'd rather get choked.
Yeah, here, mate. Yeah, have it. I want colleagues.
yeah. I've tapped to a few cauliflower ears. I'm like,
well, I could have not have him if I wanted to, because just sticks the needle in, drains them out. I'm like, oh, Dad, just leave a little bit, mate. I want a little bit there.
Oh, mate, that is great. Before I let you go, mate, look, we're nearly embarking to your professional career. So after it's all said and done, mate, how does Jett Fisher want to be remembered?
Oh, I just want to be remembered as, you know, a good person and just a normal guy. Just a normal guy where, you know, if you train hard, you know, you put in the effort, you can be a great fighter. It doesn't take, you know, for me, yes, it does take, you know, training from the age of 4, but, you know, I've seen heaps of people come in and they just got that natural gift and they can really just stick at it. And if you're just a normal hardworking guy, 4 or 5 days a week, mate, you can be a fighter. So there's nothing to it. I wipe my ass just like everybody else, mate. It's nothing special. I don't fucking drink no secret juice.
That's your quote right there. Jett Fisher, mate, thank you so much for your time. We'll obviously chat when a fight gets announced, but welcome to your professional career, and we'll
Thanks,
see you at
mate.
the top.
Appreciate it. And me and KG will have to jump on the podcast sometime.
Oh, absolutely. I'll have him on, mate. He's way more entertaining to watch than you.
Oh, mate, KG, he's got a funny mouth on him, mate. If you get him going, he's the most funniest cunt you'll ever meet. You'll love him.
All right, I'll tee that up, brother.
Catch you, buddy. Have a good one. Appreciate it again.